Hey yo, what up? It's Healthy Visions coming at you with another video. Today we've got Tim and we've got Shayne. And the question from one of our former students is, oh, that's an interesting one today. What was your self-esteem like in high school? And if you could go back then, what would you tell yourself now?
Oh gosh, I don't think I would go back.
That's interesting. Well, for me, I guess my self-esteem was, I don't think it was awful, but it wasn't anywhere like where I am now. I'm definitely a lot more confident of a person. Went through a lot of growth through those years. For me, I guess it was just, I cared a lot about what people thought about me. And so, especially like middle school and leading into high school, any little thing that people said about me, or it didn't matter. It could have just been about the jeans I was wearing that day. Like, I would worry so much about that. And so I let people shape who I was rather than figuring out who I felt that I was and just being comfortable with that. And so through high school, I had to kind of get to a place where I was accepting of myself for who I was and what I liked. And it definitely is a hard process. It was one of those things that I feel like even now, we all probably still struggle with that a little bit. So I don't know if it necessarily even gets easier as you get older, but I think it becomes one of those things that you just become comfortable with who you are. And that was kind of my process in high school. It's just like, you know what, like, yeah, sometimes I might care that somebody didn't like my shirt I was wearing that day, or doesn't like the kind of music, and they make fun of me for the stuff that I like. It doesn't matter, because it's just who I am. And I don't care. And I think that's probably what I would go back and tell myself, is not to care as much about that stuff, because where I am now in life, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. That's the big thing. When I was in high school anyway, I thought it was, every small thing was the biggest deal. I was one of those people who was like, everyone has to like me. If anyone's mad at me, if anyone says anything negative about me, I would freak out. Even teachers. It's like a little teacher's pet. So I would kind of put on a show, I think. I would be really just kind of funny. That way, try to please everyone that I could. But in all honesty, you're never really going to do that. And I wasn't really being myself. Like you kind of said earlier, I was presenting the self that I thought other people wanted. And that's really a waste of time. When you get older, as I've gotten more mature, I guess a little bit more mature, I don't know. Thanks. As I've gotten older, though, kind of in retrospect, I realized it's not worth it doing that, and it's kind of exhausting. So at this point in my life, it's so much more freeing where I'm at. I've got real friends who actually like me, and I don't have to kind of second guess that. Some of my friends in high school, I don't know, if we would still be friends if we met today, just because I'm a completely different person. And that's not their fault necessarily. It was kind of mine, because I wasn't, being true to myself. Instead, I was just trying to bend myself to please everyone else. And I think a lot of women do that, especially, trying to impress guys, things like that. So I think if I could tell myself something, it would just be that, be yourself. You will still, trying to fit in. I know that's a big deal. Everyone's trying to do that. But you'll meet real friends being yourself. People will care about you. And those are the friendships that will last, and those are the ones that matter. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. I agree.
Well, I hope that's been somewhat helpful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, regardless, we will see you next week.